1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honey Bee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am one of your hosts, Precious D.
And I'm the other one of your hosts, Honey Bee.
Honey Bee and I are two best friends making our way through the history of kaiju movies. We began with the original King Kong back in 1933, and today we're in 2022. And the movie is Shin Ultraman, which means New Ultraman.
Yay! Woo! We actually got to see this in theaters when it came out.
We did. Not together, but separate theaters. And I think we did a very brief review at that time, but now we're going to do our full treatment. This is directed by Shinji Higuchi and written by Hideki Anno, and I believe both of them, or at least one of them, were involved with Shin Godzilla and Shin Kamen Rider. Shin Kamen Rider came after this. And there's also some Evangelion that's related to this, I think. Supposedly it's all in the same universe, but we don't see any direct evidence of that. And there was maybe going to be some follow-up or something that tied them all together, but that hasn't happened yet. It's 112 minutes in Japanese, but there's also a dubbed English version. The budget was $5 to $6 million, or 800 to 900 million yen. What do you think on the box office, Honeybee? You can take the over or under on the box office.
Over, way over. I'm taking over.
34.4 million. So good job. That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, this movie
investment.
rocks balls.
So, if you're somehow not aware, Ultraman is not the Ultraman who's alternate universe evil version of Superman. This is the Ultraman who is a giant superhero from Japan, but also from outer space. It has been multiple TV shows that I believe are all kind of tied together, but also there's like an anime series from Netflix that's like a sequel to the original show, but doesn't mention any of the other stuff. And then there's an anime also on Netflix, an animated movie that is unrelated to any of the other versions, I think.
Ugh, I cannot wait till we get to that. We watched that at G-Fest, didn't we?
We did, in the hotel room at G-Fest.
Yeah.
So let's look at the cast before we get too far into it. Takumi Saito as Shinji Kaminaga. Masami Nagasawa as Hiroko Asami. Hidetoshi Nishijima as Kimo Tamura. Daikai Arioka as Akihisa Taki. Akari Hayami as Yumi Funaberi. Tetsushi Tanaka as Tatsuhiko Manakata. Kuyasaku Shimada as Taishi Okuma. Ryo Iwamatsu as Hajime Kumuro. Toro Masuoka as Kunihiko Kariba. Kaishi Nagatsuka as Hayasaka. Hajime Yamakaze as Seiichi Nakanishi. Masami Horuchi as Chief Cabinet Secretary of Japan. I guess we didn't hear his name. Go Ruji as Special Advisor to the Prime Minister. Soku Wada as Kamagi. Yutaka Takanouchi as a government official. And Bin Furaya and Hideki Anno as Ultraman / Lipa motion capture. Also, Koichi Yamadera as the voice of Zophie, Koji Yamamoto as Alien Maleficus, and Kenjiro Tsuda as the voice of Alien Zarab. I am not going to read all those same people again from the English dub. You can look it up yourself. So, Bin Furuya, I believe, was the original Ultraman.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. He was the guy in the suit for the original Ultraman. So that's very cool that they got him.
That is very
to come back.
cool. Aw,
So,
that's awesome.
so Honeybee, what are your initial thoughts and feelings about
Well,
Shin Ultraman?
I will say this was the first kaiju movie I saw in theaters, obviously. Like, you know, I mean, like, obviously we saw Kong versus, like, Godzilla, like, you know, but, I mean, like, just as it came out with this show. So, love it. That sentimental to me in that way. But also, this movie just rocks balls because there's so much action in it. It's so focused on the kaiju. Even the people shit is very, like, just geared towards the kaiju. You know what I mean? So it's not like kaiju and then people shit and then kaiju and then people shit and then somehow we tie it all together. No, it's not like that. And I really loved it. I think everything about this movie, the way the movement, it's very nostalgic. We have a lot of moments that I feel are just so classic for a kaiju film, but even though it's in 2022, it kind of just feels like they really nail just like the classic things that every kaiju movie needs, you know what I mean? I love this movie. I think we get so many battles, so many fights. There's always something happening. It's just jam-packed full of action, and it just is awesome. I just love this film. And yeah, I think initial thoughts are this film rocks balls.
I meant to mention this in our bonus episode that we just did. Although by the time this comes out, have been a few weeks. Anyway, the theater I usually go to, there's almost never more than 5 other people in the theater. That was the case for Dracula just recently, and that was the case at the time for this Ultraman. Well, especially if it's going to be a foreign language movie that's a special event. Anytime there's a Fathom event at that theater, there's nobody there, hardly.
Damn.
Now, that means for this movie in particular, the people that were there really wanted to be there. They were not casual observers. There was one girl behind me that, you know, like when Melphis showed up, she was very excited. And when Zophie showed up, she was very excited. So I think this was somebody that Ultraman was their thing, and they knew who all these characters were. I do feel like they tried to cram all of Ultraman into one movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's some things here from various points in Ultraman's history that they brought all together and shoved into one movie.
Yeah, there's so much going on. Like, there's so many, like, fights. So, I mean, I think he fights, like, 4 different kaiju. Like, 4 or 5. It's insane. There's a lot, for sure.
Yeah. Then we have a summary here from Wikipedia. It's kind of long, so let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you, Wikipedia. Following the invasion of several kaiju in Japan. Oh, yeah, the movie starts off with the way the original Ultraman did. So Ultraman kind of spun out of a thing called Ultra Q. Mm-hmm. And so the original Ultra Q would start with this sort of sand or paint or something, the swirling image. Basically, they would take the Ultra Q logo, and it's written out in either sand or paint or something. And then they would swirl it, and then they run that in reverse so that it's coming from a chaotic state back into an ordered state. And then when the original Ultraman started, they would show that, and then the Ultraman logo would break through. And they started this movie that way. So that was very cool. I really liked that. But then we see a bunch of different kaiju, but not Godzilla. And they're invading Japan. The government establishes the S-Class Species Suppression Protocol, the SSSP, which I believe originally stood for something else, like the Science Police, the something Science Police, to eliminate further threats. I will say this SSP does not have as cool outfits as the original one. when the when the SSSP respond to an attack by an S-class kaiju dubbed Nironga, a silver
Nironga.
giant extraterrestrial emerges from the sky and defeats Nironga. However, the incident leaves SSP member Shin Kaminiga injured while trying to save a lost child. Analyst
Yeah, so
Hiroko-
we kind of get to see, that he's like, there's still a child in the village. I better go save him. Like, okay, Kaminaga, no problem. See you later. And then, like, he just disappears and, of course, turns into Ultraman.
Yeah.
So it's really funny that we kind of get to see that. I was like, hell yeah, we're starting out strong here.
Yeah.
Just, like, no guesswork for us, which I
Now,
appreciate.
there's
I would
actually-
also like to say this... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say I would like to call this movie... Shin, good guess, because there's so many points in this movie where like something's going on and we got to figure it out as the humans, and they'll like pan to the people and they'll just be like, I think maybe this is happening, and it's just like the right thing every time. This happens like several times throughout the movie. It's so funny. I like wrote a note every time it happened, like, oh, another good guess. Oh, another good guess. It's so funny. So I really love that too, about that we don't have to really think about it. At any point, they're going to tell us exactly what's going on,
Right.
and like why it's happening. And so I could appreciate that.
So in the original Ultraman, the Ultra, the being from the planet of light, merges with a human. I can't remember if I think he's also injured, and so in order to save him, he merges with him.
Yeah.
But in this one, that's not what happened. The guy just dies, and he takes his form, and then every now and then goes and stares at his dead body that's laying in the forest. So he's just an alien disguised as a human who then initiates his beta capsule and gets big. So anyway, analyst Hiroko Asami is transferred from the Public Security Intelligence Agency to the SSSP and partnered with Kaminaga. And they make a big deal about
Yes.
the reveal. You know how some movies have a reveal, particularly Bond movies, especially if it's that actor's first time playing Bond, where you don't see him directly right away. They kind of take a while to reveal his face, to show him front on. They do that with this woman. So I don't know. I looked up the actress, and she was already famous and been in a lot of stuff, but I don't know if it was particularly a big deal that they got her. But they avoid showing her face for a long time until finally they reveal her. And there's also a lot of weird camera angles in this movie. A lot of under the table shots and people's knees and stuff.
Yeah, I
Looking
really
at
love
people
that about
from
this movie.
behind their computer and things like that.
Yeah, there's like two specific camera angles that I just really love, and it's with the Gabara scenes. But there's one particular one where we're kind of like, first we get a POV, like Gabara's POV, but then there's one where the camera's kind of like looking up at Ultraman from under Gabara's like feet, and we can even see like his little like weird T-Rexy like hands, and it's just such a cool angle. Like it's just so cool. Like I'm like, this is so weird, but it's just so cool because I just feel like that's not an angle you really get to see a lot of the time. So it was just really neat. I really appreciate that about this movie. It's just kind of like the weird little moments like that we have.
I just feel like this is a lot of I went to film school. So anyway, she's transferred and partnered with Kaminaga, who seemingly recovered from his injuries, and they are buddies. Like that's
Isn't she also in some sort of like secret service something, or she came from some sort of secret service or something?
That's what I said. Public Security Intelligence Agency is where she was from.
Okay, gotcha.
So they're going to be buddies. Like that's how they're partners. But I guess it's called buddies. I don't know. Let's see. Asami submits a report on the Silver Giant, dubbing it Ultraman. The SSSP respond to another S-class species attack by a kaiju dubbed Gabora. Unbeknownst to the SSSP, Kaminaga transforms into Ultraman, now adorning red and silver colors. Not clear why he was all silver before and now he's red and silver, but he is. He defeats Gabora before it could attack a nuclear waste storage facility. Another
Yeah,
alien.
see, like we're not even like halfway through the movie, and we've already got 2 kaiju battles. Like it's just so cool. We already got the first one. We're not even halfway through the movie. We get a second one, and Ultraman's already had a costume change. Like, damn, this shit is going fast.
Yeah. Another alien named Zarab makes contact with the SSSP with the intention of establishing an accord with Japan's government. After Kaminaga learns of Zarab's true intentions to influence countries to destroy each other by triggering conflict, he is neutralized and kidnapped by Zarab. To discredit Ultraman, Zarab attacks parts of Japan disguised as Ultraman, oh no, and leaks footage of Kaminaga's transformation, resulting in an international manhunt.
Here's another part where they're like, oh, what the hell? Ultraman is destroying the city. And then our main group of people are like, you know what? I think that he might be being controlled by someone else. And it's like, how are you guessing that? They're like, look at the dead look in his eyes. Like, I mean, it's just like so, it's just so crazy. No one says that. I'm just saying, like, how are they guessing it, you know?
Right.
And like someone says like, yeah, somebody's definitely pulling some strings. And it's just like, how the fuck? Like, no one has done anything. They're just watching this happen, and they're just like, you know what I think's happening, and it's the right thing. And that just cracked me up because it's so fun. We don't even have to think about it. I will say before we get to this part, though, something I really loved about the Gabara fight is when Ultraman just like mistrunchables his ass and like grabs him and like swings him around by his little piggy tails, and then his spiny head like opens up and like just has the growl and then the beam, and then Ultraman just punches him in the face. That fight was maybe one of the best ones of the whole movie. It's so good when he just kills him with that one punch. But then when he like the actual character, not Ultraman, but what is his name? His name is
Zarab?
No. Kaminaga. When Kaminaga like shows up, they're just like he just walks up. He's like, oh, hey guys, hey, and they're like, oh, where the fuck? He wasn't with us this whole time. Like they just look at each other like, wait, oh shit, where the hell has he been? It's just so funny how they play this. I just love this. Just it's good stuff.
Asami receives Kaminaga's transforming device, the Beta Capsule, for safekeeping from Zarab. Asami finds and frees Kaminaga, but is captured by Zarab herself. Kaminaga retrieves the Beta Capsule and transforms into Ultraman, saves Asami, and exposes Zarab's disguise before defeating him.
And we kind of see that Asami is like starting to, get a little like, like, oh hey Ultraman, you've been saving me. Shit, like when she comes up to him, because he Hansel and Gretel's himself where they can like find him, right? Which is so smart. But when she finds him, she just walks in there, like smacks the shit out of him. She's like, do you not know what being a partner is? You just like leave me. And he's like, I never lied to you. I just didn't tell you. And she's like, isn't that the same thing? But I was like, damn, why'd she smack him like that? They're just supposed to be partners. But I think she's getting a little more emotionally invested, She's like, and then he saves her. So she's like, oh, okay, Ultraman. All right. Here's your B capsule. Let's see you transform, Daddy-O. Anyways. So,
Okay. Well, Kaminaga goes into
Ultraman,
hiding.
Another fight, because he has to fight himself.
Yep.
That's what, the third fight we get to see?
Yeah.
So sick.
Well, Kaminaga goes into hiding. Asami is kidnapped and transformed into a mind-controlled giant by another alien named Mephilas. So we got some giantess attack shit going on here. Lots of upskirt shots going on. It's very
but it's very
shadowed.
Well done. We don't get to see anything. Yeah, it's very shadowed.
Yeah, but I know there's people down on the ground taking photos, and as we see later, posting them on the internet. Demonstrating good faith, he reverts Asami back to normal size using the Beta Box, a large variant of the Beta Capsule. Mephilas strikes a deal with the government to supply them with the Beta Box for deterrent purposes in return for unconditional obedience. Kaminaga disagrees with Melfi's plan and conspires with the SSSP to stop the exchange. I like when they're having their conversation on the swing.
Yeah.
And Melfis keeps also saying all these like cliche sayings and saying, that's one of my favorite sayings. They successfully
Or one of my
hijacked the
least
box.
favorite. He keeps saying my least favorite.
No,
Oh,
no.
this is
He
my
says
least favorite.
he says my favorite a bunch of times, and then the last one he says that's my least favorite. I think his least favorite was if at first you don't succeed, try again. That was his least favorite. Let's see. They successfully hijack the box, and Ultraman engages Mephiles in combat. Or Mephiles. Mephiles rescinds his plan after noticing Ultraman's superior Zophie observing the battle and warns Ultraman of a coming threat before departing Earth with the box. They were doing a weird thing in the subtitles where they were leaving out the O in Zophie.
I know. That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. The SSSP are briefly detained for aiding Ultraman, but are soon released after their chief convinces his superior that Ultraman coerced them. Kaminaga converses with Zophie in the forest, where Kaminaga was injured. It is revealed that Kaminaga was not injured, but killed by debris when Ultraman landed. Inspired by Kaminaga's sacrifice, Ultraman had assumed his identity to better understand him. Zophie informs... So Zophie looks just like Ultraman, except he's like silver and gold. Or black and gold. Mm-hmm. Is he black and gold?
Yeah, black.
Is it a blue dress or a gold dress? Zophie informs Ultraman that he is to face punishment for breaking their planet's code of merging with a human. They have a code against that?
I like the conversation.
Has that come up often enough that they had to have a code against it?
Definitely. They're like, the humans suck. Quit transforming into them.
Yes, yeah. Quit merging, guys.
I do like the quit merging. I like the conversation they have about like how the humans are the ones who woke the kaiju, and like they're like dealing with the wrath of Mother Nature because of like all the, shit
right
that they've put the world through, and like they deserve the wrath of the kaiju and we need to kill them all. And then Ultraman's like, well, hang on a second, I actually transformed into this guy, and I really feel like humans aren't that bad and they deserve the right to live. But I really like the conversation that we have about like how it's the wrath of Mother Nature, and like that's what the kaijus are, and I was like, hell yeah.
Kaminaga warns the SSP of this, leaves them a flash drive, and flies to Earth's orbit as Ultraman to stop Zeton. Defeated, Kaminaga is hospitalized while the government decides not to disclose humanity's fate to the world as a final act of mercy. Yeah, the whole world's about to die, they believe, and they're like, let's not tell anybody. They're better off not knowing. SSSP...
Is this before or after Ultraman has to, like, sniff Asumi and memorize her smell?
I think it's after.
Yeah, that I was like, oh my god. He's like, all right, I've got it memorized. I'll find you. I was like, is this hot? I can't tell actually.
It did seem like something sexy was going on there. SSSP physicist Akahashi Taki opens Kaminaga's flash drive and uncovers the basic principles and theorems of the beta capsule and higher dimensional domain. So that was the geek. One of the guys on the team has like all this Star Trek stuff around his desk. I think he also has the little plush of the SSP have this little symbol. In the original show, they had these pins that have a little antenna that came up out of it that was like their communicator. In this one, they're just wearing the pins. They don't, because they got cell phones and shit. They don't need that, but they still wear the pins. Right. And there's this little plush that's the shape of that pin, but turned into a little plushy character, like a little Olympic mascot or something. That is sitting around the office the whole time. Let's see. After Kaminaga regains consciousness, Taki reveals to him the method that he and international scientists have devised to defeat Zeton. Kaminaga transforms into Ultraman and opens a black hole by igniting the beta capsule 1 millisecond before Zeton fires its heat wave.
Oh, shit! The
black hole swallows Zeton and Ultraman, but Zophie rescues Ultraman.
Swim away!
Zophie insists that Ultraman returns to their planet, but Ultraman wishes to stay and protect Earth. Zophie refuses to compromise, thus Ultraman decides to sacrifice himself to resurrect Kaminaga. Zophie questions Ultraman's decision to sacrifice himself to save an inferior race, but after witnessing their teamwork to defeat Zeton, he is forced to admire their tenacity in the face of death. The SSSP then greets Kaminaga as he opens his eyes, having received a second chance at life. Welcome home, the pretty lady says.
Welcome home, and then credits. It's
Yes.
so sick. Also, the fight, the last fight. No, it's the fight before the last one, I think. No, I think it's the last fight. The music is so good. It's like there's just like some like sick guitar riffs, just like during the fight. I was like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. So one of my favorite parts of this movie, the original Ultraman, they did a flying effect by having
Yes.
a doll with its arms straight out above its head, in a flying position.
Yeah.
But very stiff because it's just a doll or a carving or whatever. And then they would, I don't know what, throw it or run it along a string or whatever.
Yeah.
But it couldn't, move its arms. It couldn't change position or anything because it's just a static doll.
Yeah.
And they kept that same style of flying in this movie, even though it was all CGI and they could have had it done whatever they wanted. He's still just flying like a dart, like a missile, with his arms straight out in front of him, and I really appreciated that.
Same. I really love that. I really love how they made a lot of the, even though it is CGI, especially in the beginning, the first like 2 kaiju in the beginning, like the way that they move is very man in a suit. And like, yes, you can tell that it's CGI, but it's like just something about the design of them and the way that they move. It just feels like they really kept that like classic man in a suit movement feel, where there's not like a lot of expression in the face. It does feel very much just like a costume.
I did think, especially like there's an early kaiju that is very much flopping around like it's a guy in a suit. But they did, even though it's CGI, it was still like a motion capture stuff. So maybe some of that was, maybe there was more of a suit involved than normal. I'm not sure.
It definitely looked like it, and I love that. I really love that, especially being the year that it is, that we could kind of just like keep it classic in that way, and it didn't take anything away from the movie. In fact, I think it added, to the movie, just in that like feel good sense,
Yeah. Oh, do you want to tell the story again about the
Yeah, I
guy
definitely
in
do.
the theater?
Okay, so you guys know that like trippy part where like the screen turns orange and it's all like all the colors and stuff, and the guy's like, "Wake up, open your eyes, Ultraman, open your eyes." When I went and saw this in the theater, there was more people in my theater than at yours, but I live in a bigger city, so it's like, just more people in general. And there was this guy that was sitting below me, like in the row below me, and he had kind of just, he was older too, like much older, and he fell asleep in the movie, and we could all hear him, like he was snoring like really loud. And at that point, there's like all this action and stuff, so you couldn't really tell. But at that point, like everything goes really quiet, and then the screen turns orange, and it gets all trippy, and it's like, "Wake up, open your eyes," and this guy's like, and the whole theater was kind of like silently like giggling, like we were all just kind of giggling at this because it was just so perfect. Wake up, open your eyes, and then just. That man snoring. It was so funny. It was such a like one of those moments where just like collectively you're all like just not, we weren't making fun of him. It was just a really cute moment.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget it. It was so funny.
Well, we should do Shin Kamen Rider as like a bonus episode or a Patreon.
Yeah, we
episode.
totally should, for sure. Yeah.
Well, if you haven't seen it yet, you can watch Shin Ultraman on Tubi.
It's also on YouTube.
Oh, okay then. It was on Prime, I think, when it first came out, and I believe Shin Kamen Rider is on Prime currently. But it's on Tubi now. You can watch it for free.
Yeah, on YouTube it doesn't have ads. It's also free, and then it's Fandango at Home has it with ads, and yeah.
Okay.
There was something else I feel like that had ads, like another streaming platform, but I can't remember what it was.
So it's readily available though. No excuse, no reason not to watch it. Next week's
and
movie
worth
is
the watch.
Yeah, next week's movie is The Sea Beast, which you can watch only on Netflix. It is a Netflix original, I believe.
Yeah.
So please, if you like what we're doing, like and subscribe, rate and review. What's that?
What
Oh
are you
yeah,
gonna
we didn't
rate
rate it. We didn't rate it. 5 stars. I'm gonna give it 5 stars.
For sure, 5 stars, hands down, all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. So, next week is the Sea Beast, and as I was saying, if you like what we're doing, please let us know and let the world know. Give us a good rating on the iTunes or the Spotify, or leave a comment on YouTube, and check out our Patreon. You can find links to all our stuff at mmftg.com. Until next time, I have been Precious D.
And I have been Honey Bee.
Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements.
And please, don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing us on your podcasting platform of choice. You can leave us a message and find links to all our things at mmftg.com.